Well, welcome back to 2 News Today on Dayton CW. Our time now 8:17. I'm Dan Edwards. Jamie's forecast. Carrie's traffic update is upcoming. And now to share with us exciting upcoming events, we welcome Tony Scollenbrede, the Executive Director of the National Aviation Heritage Alliance. Welcome in, Tony.
Good morning, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here.
We've had such a hard time getting this man on because you're so busy, so much is going on. But first, I think we need to start with what exactly is the National Aviation Heritage Alliance? What is that? Besides, it's more than telling the story of the Wright brothers.
Oh, absolutely. The National Aviation Heritage Alliance is a group of aviation heritage organizations, including large organizations like the Air Force Museum, to say smaller organizations like the Wright Beef Flyer, the group that flies the Wright brothers replica and parades and various public events in the Dayton area. We stretch from Warren County all the way up to Augalaize County and the Armstrong Air and Space Museum, which is located in Wapakoneta. We go east to counties like Champaign County and the historic Grimes Field, which has the Champaign Aviation Museum, very fascinating organization that's rebuilding a B-17, along with the Grimes Flying Lab airplane, a plane that was a test plane for the Grimes Lighting Company, which is still in business today, Dan.
So from Grimes Field in Urbana to the Waco Field in Troy, do you think that we're doing enough to claim our aviation heritage?
You know, Dan, I think that you can always do more to promote what you have as a hometown favorite. I mean, I think that's always an issue that you see. What is interesting to note is that people from around the country and from around the world, they know about aviation, know about the Wright brothers and know about Dayton, Ohio. But sometimes it's true. The people that live here in the Miami Valley may not necessarily realize all the wonderful things that they have in their hometown. So that is part of the program that the National Aviation Heritage Alliance has embarked upon, is to try and make sure that everyone who lives in the region understands what kind of assets that we have here. We think that we're making some progress in that area. We've seen some increases in visitation to some of the sites, like the smaller sites. People know about the Air Force Museum, but the smaller sites, we certainly can do more to promote those, and we have had some success. The Wright Beef Flyer has probably been as busy as it's ever been in terms of visitation to the hangar and to flights around the region.
Well, I know the next chapter of our legacy is telling the story of the Wright brothers and their airplane factory.
Absolutely.
I know you're excited about that.
I really am. I think this is the final chapter of the Wright brothers, but it's really the beginning of, represents the beginning of the aviation industry in the United States of America. And I think really in terms of what industry propelled the USA into the world stage, it was aviation. We were able to link the globe to be a much smaller place as a result of aviation, and that all began, Dan, in 2 buildings that most people have never seen because they've been surrounded by an automobile factory located on West 3rd Street on the west side of Dayton. If you drive by the site today, you have to really know what to look for in order to see the first airplane factory.
The former GM Delphi factory.
Yeah, the Home Avenue plant, as it was known for years to people here in the
So what's
Dayton
happening
region.
there, Tony?
Well, tomorrow morning we're going to have what we're calling our demolition groundbreaking event. A little mix of terms there, but we have a very interesting project that has been underway. We're doing environmental remediation. Asbestos removal has begun. We have a great contractor, a great teaming partner that's worked with the City of Dayton and the National Aviation Heritage Alliance and Home Avenue Redevelopment, or Hall & Associates. They will begin demolition of the plant buildings that have represented the automobile industry at that site. And within a year, we anticipate that a year from today, if you drive down 35 West or you drive down West 3rd Street, you're going to see those 5 historic buildings, 2 of which were actually built by the Wright brothers.
And attracting some pretty good clients, I would imagine.
We're working hard to make that site be something that represents not just the past of Dayton and the story of the Wright brothers, but what represents the future. We're working on trying to get aviation companies that are involved in things like the composite industry, working with companies like Boeing and Airbus. You know, we're reaching out to them to see if they might be interested in being a part of this site. The site consists of about 55 acres. The historic buildings will be on a parcel of about 20 acres. So there's about 35 acres of wonderful ground for development. And what we're hoping is that we can bring companies into that location to do some manufacturing associated with the aviation aerospace industry.
Any financial impact numbers?
Well, the aviation heritage business for the Dayton region represents about a $50 million a year economic impact on the region and about 1,000 jobs. You know, we want to see that figure grow. You know, we think that's very possible with development at the historic Gray Company factory site.
We'll be there tomorrow for the demolition groundbreaking.
We welcome you and look forward to having that happen.
All right,
Dan.
Tony Scolambrini, Executive Director of the National Aviation Alliance. Thank you so much for being with us.
My
today.
pleasure, Dan.
All right.
Always.
Our time now 8:22, and we want to